Hello everyone, it is that time of the year where I do my seasonal TBR. So this one will cover September, October, and November for books that I want to prioritize. I'm just looking for whichever dice I kind of want to use. Do I have something that's kind of fall vibes? Well, that's Christmas, and this is a big dice. I want a D6. Okay. You know what? This one, I don't know how you're going to see that. I'll show that in a second. That one's a possibility. Or I can, you know what? I could just go with these. They'll be easy to see. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do these other ones that you will have seen before. Just these black and yellow. For the token today, we're going to go with this little cat figurine I've had since I was in junior high or high school, I don't know. But it's a black and white cat. It's holding a bag of kisses, so it looks like it's trick-or-treating, and it's just got a bunch of Hershey's Kisses so far. So we'll use this little guy. Focus on the cat. There we go. So we'll use this guy. All right, we need to pull up a random number generator. So I need to change the maximum number to 30. All right, let's see where I'll be starting. Number 2. I'm gonna apologize in advance for my nails. I've had to quit getting my nails done at the nail salon just because I'm going on disability and so my income will be cut. So I'm trying to get these off. I'm just clipping them as they grow. I did get this gel nail remover, so I'm trying that. It worked really well on my thumb. So I still have a little bit of the acrylic there, but it's very thin now and I can just buff it and then paint over it. So good with that. Anyway, so when you see my nails, they're kind of ugly looking right now, which is fine. That's life. And let's go ahead and get into roll number 1. Oh, and just as a reminder, I will be starting out where this is a seasonal TBR. I will be starting out with 10 rolls. All right, number 2. And then here's the dice. So this is for prompt number 1. A 3 and a 1, so moving 4 spots. One, 2, 3, and 4. That is Halloween Party. Okay, so Halloween Party is to read a book that has 2 or more people on the cover. The book that and this can be illustrated or not. I'm going with an illustrated cover, and this one has 4 people on the cover, and it is a Golden Girls Cozy Mystery. Murder by Cheesecake by Rachel Ekstrom Courage. So this is my pick. Oh, I'm so excited to get to this one. The Golden Girls, like you've never seen them before. Things are heating up, and it's not just one of Blanche's hot flashes. With Rose hosting her cousin's wedding in Miami, if she can't pull off the traditional St. Olaf wedding customs, her hometown may never accept her cousin back again. Wanting a witty conversationalist for the sure-to-be-strange event, Dorothy tries this newfangled VHS dating service she's heard all about. Unfortunately, what appeared to be the ideal man on tape turns out to be a jerk in real life. Set to enjoy the wedding in the company of Sophia, Blanche, and whomever Blanche targets with her feminine wiles, Dorothy pitches in to help the increasingly frantic Rose plan the events. Despite tensions between the 2 wedding families and certain St. Olifians' mistrust of the big city, The opposing tee, the opening tee is going perfectly. Not a herring out of place. That is, until Dorothy's date is found dead, face planted in an otherwise scrumptious-looking cheesecake. With every guest a suspect and a marriage on the line, it's up to the Golden Girls to sleuth out the real killer and ensure love, humor, and friendship win the day. Death by or murder by cheesecake. Okay, we are now on to prompt number 2. A 5 and a 1. So, as you can see there, 5 and a 1, moving 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is Falling Leaves. So Falling Leaves is to read a book that has one or more plants on the cover. I'm going to go with Night Watch. I think the author is Jayne. I think that's how you say the first name, Jayne and Phillips. There are trees, a row of trees back here, and then there's like bushes and trees throughout on the cover there. So this is what I'm going to go with. In 1874, in the wake of the Civil War, erasure, trauma, and namelessness haunt civilians and veterans, renegades and wanderers, freedmen and runaways. 12-year-old Kona Lee, I think it's Kona Lee. Kona Lee finds herself on a buckboard journey with her mother Eliza, who hasn't spoken in more than a year. When they arrive at the Trans-Allegheny lunatic asylum in West Virginia, delivered to the hospital's entrance by a war veteran who has forced himself into their world, they seek refuge from their brutal circumstances. Far from family, a beloved neighbor, and the mountain home they knew, they try to reclaim their lives. Kona Lee pretends to be her mother's maid. Eliza responds slowly to treatment. As their backstory comes to light, they get swept up in the life of the facility, the mysterious man they call the Night Watch, the orphan child called Weed, and the fearsome woman who runs the kitchen, the remarkable doctor at the head of the institution. And then it just talks about how this is an epic and enthralling. So Night Watch by Jayne and Phillips. All right, we are up to roll number 3. Whew, I thought that was a double there for a second, but this is a 6 and a 5, so moving 11 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Scary movie. So Scary Movie. This is to watch a YouTuber's TBR game. I am filming this the day before I'm hoping to get this video live. So August 27th. Some YouTubers have their September game already uploaded. With that being said, I'm leaning towards still playing my actual September TBR game. But we have the Magical Readathon. We also have Tales from Two Trails. I mean, I'm thinking I'll still play it. I mean, why not? So just ignore that a little bit. But anyway, so this is to watch a TBR game. And then I take the prompts, pick my own books, and we go from there. So this is my jar of booktubers that have or have had TBR games. And let's see who I get for this round. Alright, let's go this one. Okay. That looks upside down. It is. Whoop. Jency Reads. Okay, so I'm going to pull up Jency Reads. Oh yes, okay. I follow, I want to say like 30 or 40 channels. Not all of them are booktube. Some of them are true crime. So it's hard to keep too straight sometimes. Okay, so let's see. Speed dating my TBR. Finding my next read. Mid-year book tag. TBR jar prompts. Choose my July reads. Okay, so I'll be watching the July, or rewatching the July TBR jar prompts, and I will write down the prompts and I'll come back and I will tell you what I got. I will link the channel and the video in the description box so you can go check it out, and then you can see this creator's reaction to the prompts as well as what book they picked for each prompt. So prompt number 1 in this round is to read the shortest book on your TBR. I have 2 books that I found. So I have The Pearl by John Steinbeck. And this is, oh, there are pictures. Let's see. 87, 88, 89, 90, like 91 pages. Okay. The other one is Kissing My Coworker by J. Sterling. Also very short. Let's see what the page. Okay, see, I'm on to Lily, One Hell of a Kiss, and that's already on page 93. So The Pearl by John Steinbeck it is. And this is the Penguin Clothbound Classics. I have no idea what this is about, so I'm going in very blind on this one. All right, the next prompt is to read a book you don't know anything about. I'm going to do this one, Kissing My Coworker by J. Sterling. All I know is it's a romance. That is it. This one I got from the author's website, and the author did sign. So Kissing My Coworker. I've had a crush on my coworker Declan since the day I started working at Rockline Studios. Trust me, if you could see this man, you'd have a crush on him too. It's been 2 years since my first day of work. 2 years since my head has been filled with the fantasies and daydreams about the things I could do to him. 2 years of sitting by and doing nothing because dating within the office is forbidden, frowned upon, something we're not supposed to do. The night of Rockland's infamous New Year's Eve party changes everything. Will my New Year's wish finally come true? And there are like 12 books in this. It's a series. I think they all follow different characters, but each goes with either the season or a holiday. January is New Year's. This is New Year's. So, and it revolves around either the season or the holiday of certain months. Okay, so this third prompt is a letter generator. So I'm not going to go with, and I'm not going to tell you what letter was got during this game for that. Let's find random word picture, random letter generator. I have right here. Okay, so it came up automatically with a G, but we're going to hit the generate a random letter. Okay, so I want either the title or the author's name that starts with O, like October. Okay. All right, I finally found one that starts with the letter O. I'm going with 1 in a Million by Lindsay Kelk. It says, everyone wants that special someone. I know I do. So yeah. Annie Higgins has given up on love. She's too busy trying to get her tiny business off the ground. Infuriated by the advertising agency across the hall making fun of her job, Annie accepts their crazy challenge to make a random stranger Instagram famous in just 30 days. And even when they choose Dr. Samuel Page, PhD, historian and hater of social media, as her target, Annie's determined to win the bet, whether Sam likes it or not. But getting to know Sam means getting to know more about herself. And before the 30 days are out, Annie has to make a decision about what's really important. That gives me How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days vibes a bit. So we'll see. All right, prompt number 4 is to read a gifted book. This is a book that my mom had, and she has since gifted it to me. Scritch Scratch by Lindsay Currie. It says, Scritch Scratch. Oh, I'm trying to drift off to sleep when a faint scratching sound starts up in the wall behind my head. Scritch Scratch. Scritch Scratch. Scritch Scratch. Claire has absolutely no interest in the paranormal. She's a scientist, which is why she can't think of anything worse than having to help her dad on one of his ghost-themed Chicago bus tours. Every place they go gives her the creeps. She thinks she's made it through when she sees a boy with a sad face and dark eyes at the back of the bus, sitting silently among the passengers. There's something off about his presence, especially because when she checks at the end of the tour, he's gone. Claire tries to brush it off. She must be imagining things, letting her dad's ghost stories get the best of her. But when the scratching starts, voices whisper to her in the dark. The number 396 appears everywhere she turns, and the boy with the dark eyes starts following her. Claire is being haunted. The boy from the bus wants something, and Claire needs to find out what before it's too late. Scritch, scratch. And those are all of the prompts for this video. Now let's get back into my official gameplay. All right, going for number 4 with a 5 and a 6, or a 5 and a 1 to equal 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Black Friday. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to go with a short story. This book is 137 pages, it looks like. And this one, I'm going to go with Bottled by Stephanie Ellis. The house was his, an unwanted and unwelcome inheritance. As a child, Tyler Vertram spent many miserable hours beneath its roof, hating his grandfather and the man's housekeeper, Mrs. Waits. His only escape during those visits had been via the impossible bottles created by his granddad, bottles holding miniature worlds in which he could lose himself for hours. Sometimes, however, he sensed something else living in the house and in the bottles, and when he returned home, he took the nightmares with him. Now an adult, Tyler decides one last visit can do no harm. Allow him to finally shake off his nightmares. The bottles, however, are waiting, and so is Mrs. Waits. As both house and bottles gradually yield up their secrets, it's made clear to Tyler what is expected of him and what will happen should he fail. Is Tyler master or servant of the house? Bottled. All right, roll number 5. Okay, a 4 and a 3, so moving 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This one is Halloween Party. Halloween Party. So this is to read a book that has 2 or more people on the cover. I'm going with 2 people and 3 cats. So there's a cat here, and then one on her lap, and then one there. This is Drop Dead by Lily Chu. Let's see. Obituary writer Nadine Barbault doesn't mind being called Lady Death. It suits the Ice Queen persona she's cultivated to survive the fast-paced Toronto Herald. So when Nadine learns that famous and reclusive author Dot Valine has died, she doesn't hesitate to run the obituary, only to discover that Dot is very much alive. Nadine's screw-up has brought Wesley Chen of the rival Spear no end of joy. She's been a thorn in his extremely ambitious side for years, but the renewed interest in Dot also surfaced chatter about a mysterious past scandal. Intrigued, Wes goes to the source to learn more, only to discover Nadine had the exact same idea, and the infuriating woman isn't willing to respect dibs. Typical. Then, in a bitter twist of irony, Dot dies for real before she can finish recounting her story. But not all is lost. The estate's executor allows Wes and Nadine access to Dot's sprawling wonderland of a mansion for 3 weeks to find their answer. That's 3 weeks of working together, 3 weeks of endless sweltering in tight spaces, 3 weeks of learning there could be something more between them than a desire to win at any cost. And maybe, just maybe, under the rubble of all those could-have-beens, they'll uncover more than the secret of Dot Valine's long-ago scandal, and Lady Death will finally embrace what she's wanted from life all along. Drop Dead. All right, roll number 6. Whew, okay, I was thinking that was a double, but it's a 3 and a 2, so moving 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is up here with grateful for. Okay, so grateful for is a random picture. It's a random picture generator because grateful for, you want to immortalize things that you're grateful for, whether it be someone you love, events, things like that. So, random picture generator. Let me go find random. Okay, random picture generator. Okay, but that's the one that just popped up. All right, we're gonna generate, and it's that one. A lot of construction, clouds, a lot of metal stuff. Well, I can no longer show you that picture, but there was a little bit of a body of water kind of in between, like the industrial type, like the smokestacks in the background, and then there was a little bit of water, and then whatever's being worked on in the forefront, and then a bunch of clouds. So I'm going with the water, so I'm going with a book that has water on the cover. And I'm sorry I can't show it to you, but all of a sudden it flipped to your iPhone's been infected. So I had to get out of that real quick. I'm going to go with this one. Ruth Ware, The Woman in Suite 11. All right, this one says, when the invitation to attend the press opening of a luxury Swiss hotel owned by reclusive billionaire Marcus Liedman arrives, it's like the answer to a prayer. 3 years after the birth of her youngest child, Lo Blacklock is ready to reestablish her journalism career. But post-pandemic travel journalism is a very different landscape from the one she left 10 years ago. The chateau on the shores of Lake Geneva is everything Lo's ever dreamed of, and she hopes she can snag an interview with Marcus. Unfortunately, he proves to be even more difficult to pin down than his reputation suggests. When Lo gets a late-night call asking her to come to Marcus's hotel room, she agrees despite her own misgivings. She's greeted, however, by a woman claiming to be Marcus's mistress, and in life-or-death jeopardy. What follows is a thrilling cat-and-mouse pursuit across Europe, forcing Lo to ask herself just how much she's willing to sacrifice to save this woman, and if she can even trust her. So, water in the bathtub. And again, there was water in that picture, but once it came up with that your iPhone's been infected, I tried to back out of it, and then it generated something completely different. So, that sucks. All right, we are on for prompt number 7. Okay, a 4 and a 2, so moving 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is study time. Study time is to read a book that you can learn something from, and my mind immediately goes to nonfiction. Now, I recently hauled these, and I really want to start into these. This is a nonfiction, and it's true crime. It's True Crime Case Histories, volumes 1 through 3. So this is just going to follow, and we're going to learn a little bit about some crime histories. Let's see. So I will learn about, in volume 1, people like James Patterson Smith and Fred Grabe, and then there's more. Volume 2 is The Girl in the Barrel, the murder of Jamie Lady, and the Dexter Wannabe, and then quite a bit more. And then volume 3 is The Coffee Killer, Captain Crash, the Oxford Murder, etc. So, I've been wanting to pick this up. This is the perfect prompt to do that. All right, prompt number 8. Okay, a 6 and a 1, so moving 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Candy. Free pick, or candy is a free pick. Okay, so candy's a free pick, so this is whatever I want. I really want to read this. So Let Him In by William Friend. And I believe this is a debut for this author. Daddy, there's a man in our room. Alfie wakes one night to find his twin daughters at the foot of his bed, claiming there's a shadowy figure in their bedroom. When no such thing can be found, he assumes the girls had a nightmare. He isn't surprised that they're troubled. Grief has made its home at Hart House. 9 months ago, the twins' mother, Pippa, died unexpectedly, leaving Alfie to raise them alone. And now, when the girls mention a new imaginary friend, it seems like a harmless coping mechanism. But the situation quickly develops into something more insidious. The girls set an extra place for him at the table. They whisper to him. They say he's going to take them away. Alfie calls upon Julia, Pippa's sister and a psychiatrist, to oust the malignant tenant from their lives. But as Alfie himself is haunted by visions and someone watches him at night, he begins to question the true character of the force that has poisoned his daughters' minds, with dark and violent consequences. Whatever this friend is, he doesn't want to leave. Alfie will have to confront his own shameful secrets, the dark past of Hart House, and even the bonds of reality, or risk taking part in an unspeakable tragedy. All right, number 9. Oh, look at that. We're at a double. So 2 4s. And so that means we're up to 11 rolls now. Okay. Now we're going to switch to the challenge board. So this is spot number 24. All right, spot number 24 of the challenge board is right here on screen time. So moving 8 spots, and this one goes side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Tails. Tails is a pet pick. So I am grabbing 4 books. This one. Okay. Cat treats. So I need 3 for Molly, 3 for Polly, because I'll set out 3 books each. So the books I'm going to use. So I have 4 books. So whoever goes first, let's say it's Molly, then I'll take the book Molly has picked and replace it with the 4th book. Okay. So the 4 books are Loteria by Cynthia Pelayo. This one is a collection of short stories. I have 80s Ghosts by V.S. Lawrence. Hide by Kristen White. And The Invocations by Krystal Sutherland. So let me put these on there, get the girls, they're around, so we'll see what books they pick, and then with whatever books they pick, I will come back and tell you the synopsis of these. Okay, so I'm just going to place the books right here. I'm just going to go with what's on the top of the stack. So 1, 2, and 3. Come on, Polly. Go ahead, pick a book. Go ahead. Good girl. Molly! I need you to come pick a book. Okay, that was quick. Okay, so Polly picked first. She was a little indecisive, but she ultimately went with Hide by Kiersten White. And the challenge, spend a week hiding in an abandoned amusement park and don't get caught. The prize, enough money to change everything. Even though everyone is desperate to win, to seize a dream future or escape a haunting past, Mac is sure she can beat her competitors. All she has to do is hide, and she's an expert at that. It's the reason she's alive and her family isn't. But as people among her begin disappearing one by one, Mac realizes that this competition is even more sinister than she'd imagined, and that together might be the only way to survive. 14 competitors, 7 days. Everywhere to hide, but nowhere to run. Come out, wherever you are. Getting some good creepy books on for this season. All right, and then Molly's pick, she was very decisive. She went with Loteria by Cynthia Pelayo, and I could have said that wrong. Let's see, it says this is a collection of short stories and poems inspired by the Mexican card game of the same name, which features 54 cards with iconic imagery and symbolism. This collection highlights each of the cards, and every tale is inspired by a unique Latin American folklore, legend, myth, or belief that existed in the Americas long before their European counterparts. The stories explore the quiet and uncanny, and sometimes the gruesome and the grim, to provide a glimpse into the rich history of fairy tales and folk stories from across a number of Latin American countries and communities. And that sounds really good. And then here's an image of some of the cards. So yeah. All right, so a double. Not only am I adding on a roll, but we also have to draw a TBR card for the punishment. So, a little shuffle. I think I'm going to go closer to the top. Let's go this one. Choose the smallest book on your shelf. Okay, I've got pretty much the smallest ones here. Might have to be the second one in a series. Okay. So these are the two smallest that I could find. One is another book by J. Sterling. This is Dumped for Valentine's. And let's see, this one has 166 pages. The other book I found is this one, Christmas on the 13th Floor by Lee Jacquot. I'm guessing that's how that is said. And this one, oh, it's going to be this one because it's 125 pages for the actual story, it looks like. Yep. So, Christmas book. Okay. Christmas on the 13th Floor by Lee Jacquot, I'm guessing. I don't know what this is about. There's a quote that says, "You're a mean one, Mr. Chen." That's all I know. All right, roll number 10. Another double, but you'll see what's going to happen. So 6. So that puts us up to 12 prompts. Okay, we're moving back to the fall board. So I ended on space number 2. All right, back to the fall board. Space number 2 is study time. And then again, I got the 2 3s, so moving 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Scary movie. Scary movie, another YouTube TBR game. So let's draw again. And as a reminder, these names go into a little trinket tray or cup that I have off to the side so they don't come up again. And then I'll make sure that they are still doing their TBR game or they still have a channel by the time I run out of all of these. So, okay, going with this one. Kylie, I'm sure I'm saying it, but it's Kapowski Reads. This is a fun channel. Okay, the last one was the August TBR game, so that's the one that I will watch.
Hi, I'm Callie, and welcome to...
And it is Callie. So, I'm going to watch Callie's August TBR game. I'll write down the prompts again. I will link the channel and the video in the description box so that you can go and see Callie's reaction to these prompts as well as what was selected to fulfill the prompts. Okay, prompt number 1 that Callie got is your newest purchase. I'm going with The Library at Helleborne by Cassandra Khaw. Let's see. The Helleborne Technical Institute for the Gifted is the premier academy for the dangerously powerful. The Antichrists and Death Workers, the World Eaters and Apocalypse Makers. Helleborne promises redemption, acceptance, and a normal life after graduation. At least, that's what Alessa Lee has told her after she's kidnapped and forcibly enrolled. But the Institute is more than just a haven for monsters. On graduation day, the faculty embark on a ravenous rampage, feasting on their students. Trapped in the school's cavernous library, Alessa and her surviving classmates must do something they were never taught: work together. If they don't, the school will eat them alive. Sounds good. Okay, so prompt number 2 is to read a spooky book. I'm going to go with 80s Ghosts. I've been wanting to pick this one up. This is written by V.S. Lawrence. It says, the year is 2009, and Chrissy Rodriguez is determined to make her ghost hunting vlog an internet success. She's only one more failed investigation away from financial ruin and having to move back home. When she receives an email asking her to investigate Merlin High, a school that burned down in the 80s, she is presented with a unique opportunity that could make or break her. As they explore the decaying halls, searching for evidence of the paranormal, Chrissy notices that her team is acting a little off. Everything begins to unravel, blurring the lines between past and present, with her team stretched to its limits. Chrissy realizes that some secrets want to be found. Okay, the next prompt is a random color generator. So I'm going to pull it up. Do I have a random color generator? Emojis, TBR prompts. Here we go. Random color generator. Okay, it came up with a leaf green, but we're going to do a different one. Green is the color. A green beige. Okay. Okay, so I don't know what's wrong with my phone, but something else popped up after that, and I can't show it again. But it was that green beige. The closest thing that I could find is a Christmas book, and it looks like it's in these little baubles here. So some of the baubles on the tree. I'm going to go with this one. It's the closest that I can get. This one is The Christmas Crush by Noelle Douglas. Marketing executive Elena Voss's newest assignment for Sparkle Cookie, a large cookie conglomerate, was meant to be a much-needed break from her toxic boss and the stressful city. She never expected to get into a public and embarrassing argument with a sexy baker in New Hope, Pennsylvania. But the townsfolk aren't exactly thrilled about a corporate chain bakery coming in to ruin their small-town feel. Lawrence Higgins and his dog Sugar have been a beloved staple in New Hope for years. Their bakery specializes in cookies, but with Sparkle Cookie's upcoming grand opening, he's worried about rent spikes and stolen customers. Elena wants to write Lawrence off as an opponent she could crush, but as good looks and passion for baking make it difficult to stay professional. Elena and Lawrence immediately butt heads at a town hall meeting. When a cookie competition makes them join forces, sparks fly, and they find first impressions are often wrong. Can their blossoming connection survive the ensuing cookie war? Okay, and those are all the books that Callie got. So just having 3 books, not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I do have the punishment for getting that double. Just marking that it's the punishment one. Okay, let's get these cards back out. Give them another shuffle. Okay, let's go here. Oh, I drew 2, but I'm going with what's on top. Oh, that's the shortest book on your TBR. Since I already did that one, we'll just go with this next one. That is, have a friend or family member choose a book for you. All right, I'm going to put that back in. Hopefully, I don't have to pull these again. Okay, so the book my mom picked is this one, Fahrenheit 451. Let's see, Guy Montag is a fireman. His job is to destroy the most illegal of commodities, the printed book, along with the houses in which they are hidden. Montag never questions the destruction and ruin his actions produce, returning each day to his bland life and wife, Mildred, who spends all day with her television family. But when he meets an eccentric young neighbor, Clarice, who introduces him to a past where people didn't live in fear, and to a present where one sees the world through the ideas in books instead of the mindless chatter of television, Montag begins to question everything he has ever known. And that's it. And then it's how this is the 60th anniversary edition. So Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradburry. All right, on to roll number 11. Whew, okay. 6 and a 10, so moving 11 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Studying, or subjects. Okay, subjects is to pick a book based off of a random word generator. So, okay, random wheel of name. Oh, random word generator. Okay, that's this first one here. Okay, so that's the word custody is what came up. Let's generate. Gravity. Okay. Okay, so for gravity, I'm going to go with Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. These are dragon riders. Gravity is not their friend when they are on their dragons, because if they fall off their dragons, gravity will bring them to their death when they hit the ground. So that's how I'm going with this one. This is book number 2 in... Crap, what is the name of the series? I forgot the name of the series, but it's book number 2 in a trilogy, I believe, so I won't be reading the synopsis in this video. But Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Alright, and what is hopefully the last roll for the fall game. Nope, it's a double, so we're up to 13 rolls. And we have to switch, so we're moving 12 spots. And I ended on space number 19. Alright. Okay, space number 19. Have to move 12 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Experiment. This one does have a +1. Okay. So 14 rolls. Experiments is based off of a random generator. So we're generating the random generator. Okay. We're going to go with this one. This. Another random word. So let's pull up a random generator, word generator. Visual automatically came up, but we're doing this one, and this is budge. Okay. Okay, so for budge, I'm going to go with you're in a situation and someone's actions are budging you or pushing you. It's kind of making you budge into a certain action, or you want to budge a demon out of something. So I'm kind of going to make it work. This one is The Invocations by Krystal, Sutherland. Emma Bryn, an exceptionally talented curse writer, knows what it means to feel powerless and to be at the mercy of men with bad intentions. She knows what it is to be afraid, so if you can find her, Emma will offer protection, invocations, to other women in desperate enough circumstances that they are willing to trade a piece of their soul for the power to fight back. So they've been budged into a certain situation. Pushed into a certain situation, budged. Anyway. When Emma learns her clients have been turning up dead all over London, she knows it's up to her to stop the killer in his tracks. But she'll need help. Enter Zara Jones, who's been looking for Emma and has finally found her. Zara needs Emma's special skills to do a very tricky thing, raise her sister from the dead. Jude Wolfe, who'd also been searching for Emma, completes the trio. She needs help exorcising a demon she accidentally tethered to her soul. The three team up to unravel the killer's connection to Emma's clients and put an end to the murderous rampage before they become the next victims. But the secrets they're each keeping may get in the way. The Invocations. Okay, so that means another punishment card. You know what? I'm not even going to shuffle these. I'm just going to pull from right there. Choose a book from the bottom of your bookshelf. Okay? Okay, bottom of bookshelf, I'm going with The Baby Dragon Cafe. This is written by A.T. Qureshi. I know I said that wrong. It says, welcome to the cutest and most complicated cafe in town. When Safrina opens her cafe for customers with pet baby dragons, she isn't expecting it to be quite so hard to keep the fires burning. But her young dragon patrons keep incinerating the furniture, which means selling coffee isn't covering her costs. Local heartthrob Aiden is a gardener, though his disobedient baby dragon is a major distraction from his beloved plants. However, Safrina's cafe gives him an idea. He'll ask Safrina to train his dragon and pay her enough to keep the cafe afloat. They know they're the answer to each other's problems, but happy-go-lucky Safrina and gorgeous but grumpy Aiden couldn't be more difficult. Can they find a way to work together and maybe even ignite some fire of their own? All right, roll number 13. Moving 9 spots. This one goes this sideways. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. A YouTube. So this is YouTube. This is another TBR game. So I'm grabbing my jar. Going with this one. Ashley or Ash from Books to Ashes. Okay, going to YouTube. Books to Ashes. Okay. Authors a second chance. July wrap up. Enhancer, TBR board game and spinner wheel, decide. Okay, so August round. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so prompt number 1 that Ashley got is a book over 400 pages. So I'm going to go with House of the Beast by Michelle Wong. This is 450 pages. So it definitely counts. This is a Goldsboro edition, and it says, Alma would not have chosen the beast, but when her mother falls ill, she is not left with a luxury of choices. After all, luxury was never something they could afford. Forced into a desperate bargain with her estranged father and his house, one of the noble families that serve the gods and wield their powers, she irrevocably binds herself to the dread beast, the most fearsome of the gods. However, it is a vow made in vain when death comes for her mother anyway. Now vengeance is Alma's sole aim, and she has a god on her side, a beautiful eldritch monster with starlit hair, the beast that has chosen her. So, House of the Beast. So, Ashley got a scratch-off card. So these are books that she needed to prioritize. I am just going to do this as a random whatever I want. And I'm going to go with a short book. I'm going to go ahead and go with Dumped for Valentine's by J. Sterling. Heading off to Vale, heading off to Vale, single and alone, wasn't how I planned on spending the week before Valentine's Day. But here I am, in one of the most scenic places in the country, with nothing to do and no one to do it with, until I meet Jace Malone. He's adventurous, charming, and sexy as hell. It was supposed to just be one night of letting go of the past and giving into the moment. But things never quite pan out the way you think, do they? Okay, prompt number 3 is something to do with the series, either starting a series or continuing. I'm going to continue, and we can continue with the seasonal/holiday romances by J. Sterling. Book number 3, My Week with the Prince. So it has to do with March and St. Patrick's Day. When my mom dies, I'm heartbroken and devastated. She left behind a note for myself and my little sister, and before we knew what hit us, we were on a plane bound for Ireland. Mom had one last wish for us, to live our lives, to have experiences, to fall in love. I don't think she meant for all those things to happen while we were in another country. But just when you least expect it, life throws you a curveball in the form of a prince, who is unlike any other man you've ever met. A real-life freaking prince. I've never felt more alive than I do when I'm with Patrick. But this is nothing more than a vacation abroad that has to end, right? Prompt number 4 is a mood read. I'm putting on another thin one, another J. Sterling holiday, and this one is Fools in Love. And it says, she doesn't want to go out with him. He couldn't agree more. April is the hottest matchmaker in Manhattan. She's completely content helping others find love and is in no rush to find a match of her own. But when she is forced into attending a bachelor auction, she has no idea that she's about to be the winning bidder of bachelor number 22. Robbie is the city's hottest fireman. The calendar he's in even proclaimed it. It's a title he can't seem to live down and has grown to detest. He liked it at first, but now he's struggling with feeling like a piece of meat. The last thing he wants is to participate in a bachelor auction, even if it is for a good cause. Rule number 5 is one of Ashley's viewers' recommendations. Well, I'm just going to do a random my pick. I'm going with another short one by J. Sterling. This is Spring's Second Chance. So this one's for May. I was engaged to my high school boyfriend, about to get married and live a life I no longer wanted. After breaking up, when he insisted that I go on our planned honeymoon anyway, alone, I wasn't about to say no. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd meet someone there. I wasn't looking for love, but it sure seemed to be looking for me, in the shape of a 6-foot-tall, tanned professional surfer named Diego. Our time together was filled with passion, unlike anything I'd known back in my small town. I went to the North Shore, one kind of woman. Okay. Oh, but I came back completely changed. Okay, so she went one way, now she's changed. Now, what am I going to do about it? And the final role for Ashley was a Kindle book. So I'm going to continue a series in the Sweet Monster Treats. These are novella length or short story length, novella length romances. And these are monster romances. So this title is The Single Mom and the Orc. I'll insert an image. And this one says, let's see. Okay. Her grumpy orc is going to hammer his way into her heart. When Pippa finds herself in Fairhaven Falls with empty pockets and a brand new baby, she's thrilled when a sweet and slightly scary old lady offers her a job and a place to live. Their new home isn't much, but it offers a desperately needed shelter. Then her grumpy orc neighbor comes charging into their lives. She should be weary of a huge male, but when she watches him handling his hammer, fear is the last thing she feels, and when he cradles her daughter so tenderly against that big muscular chest, her heart isn't the only thing melting. Trogar likes his own company just fine, thank you very much. When his grandmother insists he help out his new neighbor, he reluctantly agrees. But the more time he spends with the curvy human and her adorable daughter, the more he wants to claim them both as his own. When Pippa's past catches up with her, can Trogar keep her and her daughter safe? And when the dust settles, will he have a new family or the solitary life he no longer wants? So monster romances, kind of like Fated Mates. Usually the women are more on the plus size. And this has been a fun read. These follow different characters, so I think you can read them in any order, but I'm going in order. That's why I read the synopsis, even though it's later on in the series, because they do follow different characters. All right, will this be the final roll? Okay, a 6 and a 1, 7. Okay. 1, whoop, okay, so it was on YouTube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Popcorn, and there is no +1, so yes, this is the final roll. All right, final roll, but popcorn is another TBR game. So let's draw this one out. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. Is that upside down? It is. Okay, so this person I am going to pull out of this because they haven't done a game for months. Like I want to say almost a year, so I don't think they're going to be doing YouTube anymore. This is Tatiana, and yeah, They changed their channel. Let's see, books with Tati. This channel's not even coming up anymore. So let me try one other way. Oh, it's Book Witch, Tati. See, the last video was 10 months ago. The last TBR game was for October, so of 2024. So I will go ahead and just remove this one permanently. And let's draw another one. And my battery is flashing, so let's hurry and I'll tell you what this one is. Kaylani from Kaylani, Simply Me. Okay, so Kaylani from Kaylani, Simply Me. The last TBR game was for August, and it was the August TBR Tarot. So let me rewatch that, and then I'll come back with the prompts. And again, Kaylani's channel and the video used will be linked in the description box, so you can go and see Kaylani's reaction as well as what books she picked. The first pull was the star, and this is the No One But You trope. I'm assuming this one's going to have it. Another book by J. Sterling. This is Don't Marry Him. It gives me those vibes. It says, when love is all you have, how do you protect it from those who want to take it from you? I loved Dove Trist my entire life, and that's why I'm thinking it has that trope. And there wasn't a time when I ever thought she would be mine. She wouldn't be mine. Even when we hated each other, we loved each other. But now I'm sitting here alone, trying to figure out where it all went wrong, and more importantly, how. She's engaged to my enemy, days from walking down the aisle toward a man who isn't me. And she's asked me to object, to stop the damn wedding. Sometimes love is a war, and you have to fight to keep it safe. Okay, the next one was, Kaylani said Judgment or Justice, but it was really the Temperance card. She's just rolling with the Judgment, which was a marriage of convenience. I'm thinking this one will have that trope. This is the wife situation. The grumpy billionaire accuses me of stealing, has me fired, and now wants me as his temporary wife. I think he's lost his mind. Easton Calloway needs a wifey pronto, and he chooses me to temporarily fill the position. While I want to tell him to F off, I can't walk away from the temptation, so I do what any broke actress living in New York would do, and agree to the terms and conditions. It should be easy. A year of marriage and a cushy penthouse and a spending allowance. After 365 days, I'll receive divorce papers and a check for millions. All I have to do is pretend we're happily married without falling in love. Doable, right? Wrong. So, I mean, it's a fake marriage, at least to start off with, and then, so I think it's a marriage of convenience because they both benefit from it. So, going with that. The next one was Two of Moons. This was an Orion pick. I don't have an Orion in my life, so I'm doing this as my pick. I'm going to go with another J. Sterling. It would be for July. These are both summer. This one gives me more August vibes, so I'm going to go with this one. Flirting with Sunshine. After finding out that her husband was cheating on her, Ava Starling packed her things and never looked back. She always planned on coming home to ruin her family's seafood restaurant, but she never expected that she'd be doing it alone. Ava was finally in a good place, healing, no longer angry, peaceful, and content. At least that's what she told herself, until a grumpy fisherman showed up out of nowhere, like an unexpected storm. Tony Garcia had been running from his past, from his future, from himself. When he settled in Port Ruffton, the last thing he expected was someone like Ava. He'd closed himself off from everyone, convinced that he was better off alone. He tried his best to keep her at arm's length, but women like Ava refused to be ignored. How can he have a future with someone new when he's still stuck in the past? Next prompt was the Seven of Stars. This is to read a book with foiling on the cover. I'm going with Unhinged Cain. So, quote on the back says, remember Kirby, you're mine now, and you better not forget it. So that's what I'm going with the synopsis. It does have a bit of a synopsis there, but it is super long. I'm not going to read that. This is a dark, think serial killer romance. So, okay, so The next prompt is the Three of Sons. This is a single parent trope. I didn't realize this is the same author of a bunch of those short story holiday ones, but it is the same author. It is Jay Sterling. Worth the Fall. This is by Jay Sterling. This is book number 1 in the Sugar Mountain series. It says, Thomas O'Grady is the unofficial king of Sugar Mountain. He's always been untouchable, the kind of man you admire from afar, but don't get too close. Don't get to be close to. So imagine my surprise when I get offered a job working underneath him at his resort. It's a dream come true until it isn't. He's grumpy, opinionated, and judgmental. I want to tell him exactly where he can shove it, but then I meet his daughter. So he's a single parent. Nothing matters more to me than my little girl. And now this is from his perspective. My world stops and starts with her. Running my family's resort is a job. Being Clara's dad is a gift. I wasn't looking for a relationship, but when Brooklyn walked into my life with her fiery red hair and matching personality, all bets were off. I've tried to keep it professional, but that woman pushes every single button I've got, and hell, I sort of love her for it. So what am I going to do about it? Okay, next up was the Ace of Stars. This is to read a book that has a, the, or of at the start of it. I'm going with the Grimoire Grammar School Parent-Teacher Association by Caitlin Rozakis. When Vivian's kindergartner, Aria, gets bitten by a werewolf, she is rapidly inducted into the hidden community of magical schools. Reeling from their sudden move, Vivian finds herself having to pick the right sacrificial dagger for Aria, keep stocked up on chew toys, and play PTA politics with sirens and chthonic nymphs and people who literally can set her hair on fire. As Vivian careens from hellhounds in the school corridors to demons at the talent show, she races to keep up with all the arcane secrets of her new society. Shops only accessible by magic portal, the brutal trials to enter high school, and the eternal inferno that is the parents' WhatsApp group. And looming over everything is a prophecy of doom that sounds suspiciously like it's about Aria. Vivian might be facing the end of days, but just as soon as she can get her daughter dressed and out of the door. Okay, next up was The Five of Sons. This is a new release. I'm going with this. It was published in 2025. Julie Tudor is Not a Psychopath by Jennifer Holditch. Julie Tudor is not a psychopath. Julie Tudor is 49 and has it all. A fantastic job, well-maintained spreadsheets are the linchpin of an efficient office, a beautiful house, some may wonder how she got the money for it, but nothing has been proven, and the man of her dreams. Julie Tudor is not a stalker. Sean is 25 and the love of Julie's life. The only problem is he thinks he's in love with someone else. And Julie Tudor is definitely not a serial killer. But when Julie has found herself in a similar situation before, and if there's one thing Julie knows, it's how to get rid of the competition. After all, what's a little murder in the name of true love? Okay, 10 of Moons is up next, and this is a new to me author. I haven't read, even though this author has come up several times in this video, I have not read anything from this author. So I'm going with the next in the Holiday and Seasonal Romances by Jay Sterling, just to keep some short books on here, and that is Summer Lovin' by Jay Sterling. I don't date my clients. Being the top relocation specialist for professional athletes, a woman has to have rules, and that's the only one I need. The only one that matters. The only one I've lived by since starting my own company. But when Crew Maxwell walks through my office door with his cocky attitude, arrogance, and downright delicious body, I'm half tempted to throw my rules straight out the window. Crew doesn't help matters, flirting with me at every turn, telling me he's different than the other athletes I've known in the past, and while trying to convince me to go out with him. But I don't date my clients, and why would I break my rule for him? All right, we're on the 9th pull, and this was the 10 of Stars, which was to finish a series. I wanted to get to this one in August, didn't, so I'm going to move this one over to my fall TBR, and that is 7 Secret Spellcasters by Lynn Cahoon. So Kaylani did mention maybe just what is the most recent up-to-date version in this series, and that's this one. I don't know if there's going to be an 8th. It's not announced yet, at least as of when I last checked, so this is what I'm going with. Besides her witch's training, Mia has a lot on her plate with her catering business and cooking school in the Idaho town of Magic Springs. And that's all I'm going to say. This is a series. I highly recommend reading these in order. It is a cozy mystery. Usually you can read them out of order, but you miss little plot threads as you do that. So please read these in order. So this is what I'm going to go with. Every book in this series has gotten 5 stars. I expect this one to get 5 stars as well. So 7 Secret Spellcasters by Lynn Cahoon. This series is a kitchen witch mystery. Okay, next up is The High Priestess, which is a booktuber fave. This is another book I wanted to get on fairly recently. I didn't, so it's going on my fall TBR, and that's Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. After a lifetime of bounties and bloodshed, Viv is hanging up her sword for the last time. The battle-weary orc aims to start fresh, opening the first ever coffee shop in the city of Thune. But rivals old and new stand in the way of success, not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to go it alone. But the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way. And whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, or something deeper than she ever could have dreamed. Okay, so next up, Kaylani got Night of Planets. This is for a video idea. I don't have video ideas other than just these hauls and that. So I'm going to add on yet another little short story or novella or shorter book. And yes, it is J. Sterling, another holiday one. This one's for fall. And this one is Falling for the Boss by J. Sterling. It says, Joseph Martin has been my best friend's boss for years. So when she comes to me with this half-baked idea of me posing as his girlfriend to help him out, I'm tempted to tell her to take a hike. But then she begs and pleads and says that he'll pay off my med school bills, and you guessed it, I cave. Even though I hate him, even though we apparently hate each other, I'm not the one who didn't anything wrong, mind you. I'm not the one who did anything wrong. But things aren't always how they seem, and the guy I thought I couldn't stand, I suddenly find myself falling for. It was supposed to be fake, an arrangement with no strings attached, so why can't I stop wanting more? Okay, next up was The World. This is a big book, so a book that is over 500 pages. Empire of the Vampire by J. Krzysztof. This is over 700 pages, so definitely counts. The last page with any writing is 733. So Empire of the Vampire. All I'll say about this one, instead of reading the synopsis, this gives me Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles vibes, but maybe more modernized and from J. Krzysztof's writing. So it's a vampire telling his life story. Okay? And we're going to go with that. So we'll see. And there are pictures in this. Let me find one. So yeah, I'm going to go with this one. It'll be... I can't remember if I've read J. Krzysztof before or not. But yeah, Empire of the Vampire. I love vampire books. So yes, it's a big book, but it's vampires. Next up is The Seven of Moons. This is to read a popular book. So this was popular. People still reference this as their favorite book. So I'm taking this as their favorite series. Even though, yes, there are problematic elements in it, but people still love this series. So I'm taking this as a popular book or a popular series, and that's Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. It's just kind of like the 3 things I knew the most and things like that. So it's a young adult romance with a human and a vampire. So, yeah, that's that. This will be a reread. Again, I wanted to get to this one like last month or the month before. Didn't do it. So it's moving on to my fall TBR. And the last prompt that Kaylani got was The Queen of Planets. This is a small town romance. I'm going with another book that I wanted to get within the last couple of months, so it's going into my fall TBR. The first book that I read mentions this being a small town, so I'm relying on book number 1 in this series because they take place in the same town. They just follow different characters. And this one is book number 1.5, so it's a novella. And it is Damaged Goods by Talia Hibbert. Second chances shouldn't feel so sinful. Laura Brune's husband is a monster, her diamond ring is a trap, and her pregnancy is a push she needs to finally escape. She runs away seeking safety and finds Samir Bianchi, her long-lost teenage sweetheart. With his kind eyes and dirty smile, Samir's still hot as hell, and he still treats Laura like a goddess, baby bump and all. The wild boy she spent one magical summer with is every inch a man, and he's more than ready to care for her tiny family. But Laura's been keeping a secret Samir might never forgive. When she finally confesses, will he remain by her side, or is this fairy tale ending too good to be true? Damaged Goods by Talia Hibbert. And that is it. Those are all the books for my fall. So that's a lot of books, which, you know what, that's perfectly fine. Will I get to all these in the fall? Who knows? Let me know. Have you read any of these books? Are you a seasonal reader? I'm not really a seasonal reader. I just love playing my TBR game, so I play it for the season as well as the months. If you are a seasonal reader, or let me know what book you are looking forward to for the fall. If you are not a seasonal reader, again, just let me know what book you're looking forward to getting to as soon as possible. Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the... Oh, and if you've read any of these books or books by any of these authors, please let me know what you thought of them. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.